when everybody went, these are cool, I'll have a little pair like that. And they thought, we'll do precision cutting. A lot of them actually didn't learn the way he was cutting. So they carried on cutting hair like this, over the tops. And other things, which meant, and that's why all the people with short scissors, when you cut like this, you'll cut yourself. So when Sassoon style was there, everybody loved it, and that was the trend. Later on in the 1980s, along came a guy called Anthony Moscolo from Tony and Guy. Tony and Guy, and he started cutting hair with longer scissors like that. Yeah, that's a 6.5. Some people think that's a really massive scissor. Anybody here think that's quite big?
Yeah.
Right, who else? Zoe, okay, Zoe, can I borrow your second, please? Oh. When I say that for, come on, bring this up. Now, Zoe, just stand in front of me there. Now, if Zoe's going to cut someone's hair, her scissors would be in this hand, right? And the hair... Pretty long here. Right, and this hand here would be the hair that she holds a section of hair in there. Okay. So, anybody who thought that was long, which Zoe did, just have a look at the blade next to her fingers. If she's going to hold a section of hair, how does the blade measure up against?
Right, yeah.
It's just about the right length to cut a straight line in one go. The idea is, his idea is, if I want to cut a straight line, I might as well do it in one go instead of 3 little nibbles. That's how it works. So just give her a round of applause for being brave while she chucks her lolly in the bin.
Yeah, I thought you'd give it to us.
No. We don't do that here. We don't encourage people. Joking aside, right. This also means that if you are a sort of hairdresser that likes a point cut, like this, with a longer blade, you can get into the section of hair. Look, you can reach all the way down there in the section of hair. Whereas if you have a short blade, like this little blade here, you can't get in. It's not long enough. You see hairdressers doing this, you see their scissor hand, like a pecking bird or something, and they'll be scratching their fingers and actually cutting too much hair off. So if you cut hair over here, and you point cut, you need what kind of blade?
Long one.
Thank you, Ashley. If you cut hair on the inside of your fingers and you like to cut in small, precise sections, what sort of blade would you use? Ta-da. I was about 40 years old and I learnt that one as well. So these are the sort of things that we love telling hairdressers about so that they can do the job a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, and have a bit more control over what they do. Because there's so many hairdressers like cutting fingers every day and standing in funny positions. And you talk about ergonomics. Ergonomics is a posh word for watching how you stand and hold yourself. We also do a scissor which is has got a revolving thumb on it. Just grab one here. Revolving thumb. Thank you. So if I get this one, now this is not my scissor. I borrowed this from a student. Right. There's the old straight handle one, just like Leonardo da Vinci first made that style. If I put it against this, which has now got a revolving thumb, you'll notice something instantly about it. You already know about the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You've already seen that. But if you look, the straight blade is up. Look, see, it's open. The scissor's open. Because on this revolving thumb, the finger and thumb hole are further apart. So now my grip is open. So there's less pressure, and there's a nerve in the palm of your hand. It's called carpal tunnel. If you damage it...
I've just done mine, though.
There you go. Oh, brilliant. Alan, could we have a look at Mandy's hand? She's had a carpal tunnel. She had carpal tunnel.
Because I'll use Joelle's 5.5.
Straight handle.
Little Sassoon ones.
Little Sassoon ones.
Yeah.
That's gold. There is somebody that's had the problem that scissors designed.
And then I've been off for 6 weeks with it.
Trying to prevent that problem because look, the finger and thumb are further apart. You already know that because it's offset, it lowers your elbow there. And here's another big one. Loads of hairdressers, like Mandy had carpal tunnel, loads of hairdressers will complain, rightly, they get muscle cramps, pain in the shoulder. Because if you think about it, right, you stood like in this position all day. If I take the scissors away, that's going to be a bit odd. The physio would go, no. If your thumb can move, all you do is the same haircut on the same person, right, but watch my arm now. Drop my elbow right down. Same haircut. I've not changed the haircut or the style or the way I think. All I change is the way I move. You do that, you're not going to end up having to have an operation or take time off work because you're looking after your posture. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm 45. I've had aches and pains. It tends to. When you're younger, a lot of people will not quite get it. Ashley.
Do you not feel, you know that term sort of, do you not feel as though you've lost any support from like holding it?
Thank you.
As normal?
Ashley says support, and some people say, do you lose control of it? That's what a lot of people are saying, and I thank you for that. Because if you look at the scissor itself, the way it's designed, and look at this handle, I've got my 4 fingers. If you look at a scissor, my 4 fingers control this bottom blade. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're in charge of the bottom blade that you normally want to stay still, while the top blade, which is now moving freely, is the one that's designed to cut. So what I've got is I've got control over that bottom blade. All I need my thumb for is to close the scissor. So actually you have full control of this, the one you need to. Or you've got that movement on the thumb, which just opens and closes, and also allows you to drop your arm. That help? Really. When you use a revolving thumb for the first time, especially if someone like Mandy would be a classic example. I swear I didn't know that until I came in today. I would talk to you about a revolving thumb. I'd tell you why I'd recommend it, and I'd ask you to do one haircut that way because your muscle memory will be, your brain will be going, ooh, hang on, this feels really weird. But after one haircut, you get it. You just got now. You'd have to say, Mandy, little voice in your head, just drop your elbow, and you'd do it, and you'd go, oh yeah.
You'll have to give me some to have a look at, play with till next time you come.
Perhaps we could do something there, yeah. She's good. Seriously though, if I can help one hairdresser to stop having an operation, I think that's got to be worth something, isn't it? So that's part of what we do. Now I think exciting bit, and I'm looking for a couple of volunteers actually to cut some hair. Thank you. What was that at the back? Was that one of those dodgy auction ones? No, I'm just relaxing. Hands off. Can I trim a bit of yours, or are you growing it? Is that a yes? Fantastic, thank you. And what's your name? Patrick, thank you, Patrick. So we'll do that. Is there really only 3 kinds of scissor? And when I started to work in designing them, I believe you can only do 3 things. You can cut hair in a straight line, like a straight, posh word is club cutting. And in order to do that, you'd use a scissor, which has got, obviously, a solid blade. Right? That's just normal. I've just told you something you already knew. The other way you can cut hair, and if I try and illustrate it on the board, is if we do a solid blade like this, that equals a solid line. If I show you a thinning scissor, which would have, in our case, 30 teeth.
What does the number of teeth matter?
It does. When I designed it, I got to 30 teeth in a certain pattern, and it did what I wanted it to do, which is it will thin the hair. It will thin it, and it will blend together. Different sections, it will blend together in a way that when you put it in the hair, you can't see where you've been. There's never any marks. See? So when hairdressers try and cut hair short and they use this, unless you've got a high enough skill, there's a danger of getting lines. With this you can't get lines. And the other way to cut hair is if you have, and I'll try, my drawing's not that good. Hang on, do it that way. Now imagine on there are 15 teeth. You will get this effect, which is a bit like a feather cut, a soft line. The best way to describe it is a really soft line. Where it gets really interesting, and where I get quite excited, is if I asked everyone in the room, who wants to have a haircut with all blunt lines in it? I mean blunt, blunt, blunt layers, blunt. If you want it all blunt, put your hands up. Aha. Does anybody in the room want to have their hair with some amount, whether it be a little or a lot, of soft lines in it somewhere, whether it's in the layers, whether it's in the fringe, whether it's in... Put your hands up if you want some form of softness or texture in your hair. Put your hand up. The ones that haven't, you've already got it. You have. Yes? You have. All of you have got some form of this in your haircut. And if I asked to, now this one would be somewhere in the middle. How many people want to have their hair thinned out a bit, or to blend two sections together? It's a bit more technical, I don't know. But the key thing is, nearly every hairdresser in the world uses this for everything. Almost everything. How weird is that? It's like a blunt. You watch them in the salon, they're cutting someone's hair, they cut it all blunt lines, they blow dry it, then they pick up again for a second haircut, and they start chopping into it to cut up all the straight lines they made in the first place. Am I exaggerating?
No.
So is that
No.
that tooth-dipping one just to make the other one's job easier?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh. Is it to make the job? It's meant to make the whole experience for the hairstylist
Quicker and easier.
quicker, easier, and give you more control. Actually, that's what it's about. So, having made these 3 blade designs, it's like being a builder and having. Yes, I've got a cement mixer. Yes, I've got a shovel. Yes, I've got a trowel. Yes, I've got this. Yes, I've got all the equipment I need to build. It's like being a carpenter and having all the screwdrivers and saws that you need. There are only 3 ways to cut hair. You've got those 3 tools, off you go. You can do anything. And people will ask me, well, are you not cheating? Well, that's the same as saying, if you're using books to find out your information from the library is one thing, but if you're using Google, because it's faster and easier and more controlled, you're cheating. You're not really cheating, you're just making life a bit more convenient. Yeah, that's kind of what it's about. And what I want to show you now is how, I'm not going to demonstrate this because I think you already know how that works. I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do with these to help. Before I bring my first model up, and I think I'm probably going to just do Patrick quickly first, is, before I do that, what am I going to do? I am going to, well actually, no, I'll bring Patrick